Unit 6, Organic Farming, Module name, Types of Manure, which includes green manure, farmyard manure and neem-coated urea. Myself, Ms. Shriveni Tari from PSS RSN College of Arts and Science. Outline of this module includes types of manure, mainly the green manure, farmyard manure and neem-coated urea. Learning outcomes: categorizes manures, differentiates between the types of manures, explains characteristics of green manure, farmyard manure and neem-coated urea. Let us understand what do you mean by manure. Manures are plant and animal waste that are used as sources of plant nutrients. They release nutrients after the decomposition. The art of collecting and using waste from animal, human and plant sources for improving crop productivity is as old as agriculture. Manures are the organic materials derived from animal, human and plant residues which contain plant nutrients in complex organic forms. Now, usually in olden days, whoever used to practice agriculture used to also go for domestication of the animals like the buffaloes, cows, sheep and goats. So, whatever fecal matter or other waste was generated, that was used for making the manure and that was used for the growth of the plants in the field. So, let us look at the advantages of organic manures in general. The organic manures provide all the nutrients that are required by the plants but in limited quantities, because whatever is there, that will be added. It helps in maintaining the carbon-nitrogen ratio in the soil and also increases the fertility and productivity of the soil. It improves both the texture and the structure of the soil. It increases the water holding capacity of the soil. Due to the increase in the biological activity, the nutrients that are in the lower depths are also made available to the plants. So, once the properties of the soil is enhanced, ultimately it is going to enhance the growth of the plants. So, now we have three major classes of manures. The first one is the green manure, the second is the farmyard manure and the third one is the neem-coated urea, and we are going to study one by one. So, the first one is the green manure. Now, green manuring can be defined as a practice of ploughing or turning into the soil undecomposed green plant tissues for improving physical structure as well as soil fertility. The green manure crops also exercise a protective action against erosion and leaching, since you will be covering the soil surface with these green plants. Green manures will not break down into the soil so quickly, but gradually add some nutrients to the soil for the next crop. Now, let us look at the ideal characteristics of the green manuring plants. They show early establishment and high seedling vigor. They are tolerant to drought, shade, flood and adverse temperatures. Possess early onset of nitrogen fixation and its efficient sustenance. Have ability to accumulate large biomass and nitrogen in 4 to 6 weeks. Is easy to incorporate, is quickly decomposable and is tolerant to pests and diseases. These are common classes of green manuring plants. We have leguminous green manures, non-grain legumes, grain legumes and the perennial trees and shrubs. These are some of the examples of plants which are used as green manure. We have Gliricidia maculata, we have Pongamia glabra, Sesbania speciosa, Crotolaria gentiana, Sesbania rostrata, Tephrosia purpurea and Indigofera tinctoria. Then the second class is farmyard manure, abbreviated as FYM. Now, this farmyard manure is one of the oldest manure used by the farmers in growing crops because of its early availability and presence of all the nutrients required by the plants. Farmyard manure refers to the decomposed mixture of dung and urine of farm animals along with their litter and leftover material from roughages or fodder fed to the cattle. So whatever waste is generated from the animals, that will be utilized for the agricultural purpose. Application of this source of organic improves physical, chemical and biological condition of the soil. Farmyard manure can supply all the nutrients required by the plants, however with low quantity. These are some of the methods of preparation of farmyard manure. We have three main methods. The first one is the pit method, wherein a pit will be dug and all the waste that will be collected from the field will be collected in this pit, and then layers of soil will be also added. So you have to follow a specific dimension, that is 8 meters into 2 meters into 1 meter, and after a duration of around 1 to 50 days the manure will be ready and that can be applied to the field. Similarly, we have the second method that is referred to as the trench method. Now it is the same as that of the pit method, only here instead of pit, trench will be laid with the specific dimension and approximately more or less the similar duration will be taken. So that is approximately to 150 to 160 days. After that the manure will be ready. And the third method is the heap method, wherein simply collected waste will be piled at one corner or at one place and it will be allowed to get decomposed. So after approximately around 6 to 9 months, the manure will be ready. Method of application of farmyard manure. Once the manure is ready, it should be uniformly spread over soil surface and mixed thoroughly. It should be applied 15 to 20 days before sowing or transplanting so that manure goes under ammonification and nitrification process so that the nitrogen is made available to the growing plants. Application of undecomposed manure should not be applied during cropping period. It should be before 1 to 2 months of sowing. The third class that we have is neem-coated urea. Now before we go for neem-coated urea, let us understand urea first. So urea is a white crystalline substance having the presence of around 46% of nitrogen, and hence it is extensively used as chemical fertilizer. So it is actually catering to the need of nitrogen of the plants. Now when you are applying urea as a fertilizer, it will not be directly absorbed by the plant. Rather, it will be undergoing the conversion process. Here we can see the urea will be first converted into its intermediate form and the final form will be the nitrate that will be absorbed by the plant. So first urea will be converted to ammonia, ammonia to ammonium, ammonium to nitrite and nitrite to the nitrate. So serially it will be converted. The conversion of ammonia to nitrite is referred to as the nitrification process. That is very much important. Now over the period, urea is being used as a chemical fertilizer, we have already seen. Now the problem is the rate at which the urea is getting converted to nitrate is very high as compared to the rate at which the nitrate is absorbed by the plant. So there was lot of nitrogen that was remaining in the soil that was unutilized by the plant. So this nitrogen used to just leach down in the nearby water bodies or in the ground table. So there was contamination of this urea because non-consumption of the urea led to running away of this urea. So that's why there was a problem that was created with this urea which was being used as a chemical fertilizer. Further, there was lot of research in order to solve this particular problem, and finally neem was proven as a nitrification inhibitor having the nitrification inhibition properties and hence slows down the release of nitrogen from urea and makes available nitrogen over a longer period with minimum loss of nitrogen, thereby increasing nitrogen use efficiency. Hence, Government of India mandated all producers to coat urea with neem seed oil and fortify urea. So that's how we have the neem-coated urea. So when you coat the urea with the neem, initially the urea will be converted to ammonia, ammonia to ammonium. Now ammonium being the stable form, then it will be gradually converted to nitrite and the nitrate. So the conversion process is slowed down due to the inhibition properties of neem. So due to the gradual release, the problem that was encountered was resolved. So now we have neem as nitrification inhibitor. Nitrification inhibitors are the chemicals which slows down the rate of nitrification. Nitrification inhibitors deactivate the ammonia monooxygenase enzyme responsible for the oxidation of ammonical nitrogen to nitrite form. Nitrification inhibitors help to retain soil nitrogen in the ammonical form for a longer period and therefore provide more opportunities and time for its uptake by the crop plants. Now let us see the advantages of neem-coated urea. Neem coating led to more gradual release of urea, helping plants gain more nutrients and resulting in higher yields. Lower underground water contamination due to leaching of urea. Neem serves as a natural insecticide. And one economical benefit is collection of neem seeds is needed for manufacturing of neem-coated urea. This was generating employments in rural areas. These are some of the online and the offline references for your use. Thank you.